The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Wonders they say shall never cease to happen in Africa. For a very long time now, the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have always sung the songs of African Union, not being an organization that is meant for the well-being of the people that they claim they are leading, and that the union is not for us. Some few days ago, we heard Captain Ibrahim Traoré are all in all, the savior, the protector, the unifier, the messiah, the king of kings, the most loved. Captain Ibrahim Traoré coming out to tell us that this organization, even any statement that they put across, is given to them by Yolo Popo. And for that matter, they can never take a decision on their own to resolve issues that has to do with us. And today, William Ruto, the president of Kenya, confirms that there is a big resistance and African Union needs to be reformed. But the question is, the resistance is coming from who? Is it from their masters to make sure that there is structure because they've seen that Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso walking out open the eyes of the African youth, and for that matter today we do not see that this organization has anything good to offer us, or it is within the leaders themselves that have realized that what they are supposed to be doing for the people, they are not doing it. Like, what is it that is making the leaders who are the body of African Union to come out and tell us that the union is not fit and the things that the union is doing isn't in the interest of the people? And for that matter, we need a reform. Before then, the president of Zambia also made that same statement, that the African Union is not serving the purpose of which it's supposed to be. And for that matter, that union needs to be reformed because we need to carry the interests of the people and to fight for the people instead of us waiting here for other people to determine the fate of the African. And now we're having William Ruto. What is pushing the leaders in Africa to now see all of a sudden that African Union isn't serving the interests of the African?
I can tell you without an iota of doubt that African Union as is today is not fit for purpose, is not fit to provide the leadership that this continent needs going into the future. And therefore, there is need for the reform of the African Union. I am asking of you as intelligence leaders to assist us to figure out what kind of African Union that we need to be able to unlock the potential that exists in our continent and the opportunities that we have, so that as we march into the future, as we become the single largest market, as a quarter of the world's population live in our continent, we take advantage of that position, because otherwise it can pose a major risk for us. We have resources in this continent. We have assets in this continent. We still continue to export our resources because sometimes we do not have the support from financial institutions to support our own processing, our own capacity. I want to implore on you as intelligence officers that as governments, as African governments, it is important for us to develop African financial institutions, to invest in African financial institutions. It is good to have the World Bank. It is good to have the IMF, but we need more capacity. We need to put more money in Afri-Exim Bank, Africa Finance Corporation, Africa Development Bank, Trade Development Bank, multinational African institutions. I will tell you why. One African entrepreneur, let me mention him by name, Aliko Dangote from Nigeria, has built among the largest refineries in the world in Nigeria. He couldn't find any financial institution to support him. It is the Afri-Exim Bank, an African financial institution, that gave him the money to develop that refinery. Africa is at a reflection point because Africa will have a quarter of the world's population will be living in our continent by 2050. And 2050 is just, 20 years from now, 20-something years from now. We will have the largest workforce in the world coming from this continent. Because of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, we will have the largest single market in the world in this continent. And we have resources and we have assets. We have 2/3 of the world's remaining arable land. I was told by the former president of the Africa Development Bank that the future billionaires will be farmers. That is why I'm trying farming myself. And aside from that, we have huge mineral and natural resources in our continent. It is both an opportunity and a risk. Because of what I have said about our continent, there is need for thought leaders. There is need for intelligence leaders to think about how we are going to organize ourselves.
Or William Ruto is making these statements because we are almost getting into elections whereby it was the same Pan-African talks that he used to win the seats, and when he became the president, we saw the kind of Pan-African he is. Is it the same tactics he's using? Or is it because African leaders are seeing that Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso leaving the organization, they are doing well, and if care is not taken, these three nations will form their own organization called African Union, whereby the youth will put more pressure on them to dissolve this one so they can join, whereby Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso leaders will now control the organization. Who is putting this pressure on these people? Why are they giving out these speeches all of a sudden when they are the same people that controls or that makes up the African Union? And these people would not have always spoke in words, yet they do not act, because you scratch my back, I scratch your back. What is pushing these leaders to now finally realize that the organization that they are the ones who make up the body now see that the institution or the organization isn't serving the purpose? Like Captain Ibrahim Traoré said, even this organization wasn't created by Africans. And that is the reason to which anytime these people are having their meetings, we have the oppressor, yellow pawpaw in their midst. Aside that, according to the former chairperson, that 70% of their meeting and everything that they do is sponsored by their Western partners. You know, whenever these people are not getting something from them, they have adjectives that they use in qualifying them. And when they are getting something, they have terms or the adjectives they use in describing these people. We all know that this organization called African Union failed us because we can't have an organization that is the mouthpiece and is there to defend the people, yet we do not see African Union acting. When things are going bad and we expect this organization to rise up united to fight to protect the African, this organization is always silent, but the organization is quick to act whenever we hear the yellow pawpaw accusing a good leader in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso of something, or their media spreading propaganda against these our leaders in the Sahel. We see African Union issuing a statement. When something is done to the African, like what was happening between South Africa and the United States of America, and we expect that this organization will put out a statement defending South Africa, the organization was silent. South Africa was now left on its own to fight its own battle. This is the narrative the African has been facing for all this while. And for how long will this narrative continue? So what is making these leaders all of a sudden to realize that this organization isn't serving the interests of the people? Is it for political points so we can give them power when we know very much that we are not the ones that elect them? They are kept there to serve the interests of other people, and that is the reason to which Julius Maada Bio said they protect borders instead of protecting us, the people. We need to start monitoring these our leaders, because each time they come out to speak these Pan-African words to us, we know they are after something. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world. In Africa, East Africa, in Kenya.